Hi everyone, and welcome back to ChompCast.
As always, I'm Jordan Ricco.
I'm Grace Peters.
I'm Adam Krasno.
And I'm Rafik Khan.
Our guest today, Henry Jefferson, is a sophomore on the UF men's tennis team and one of the rising stars of collegiate tennis. Originally from London, Henry grew up on the outskirts of Wimbledon, competing as a top 100 ITF junior and representing Great Britain on some of the sport's biggest stages. Now a Gator, he's making his mark as the number 11 nationally ranked doubles player alongside his partner. Off the court, Henry is a sport management major and a dedicated ambassador for the student-athlete experience. From being a body double for Daniil Medvedev in a commercial and to competing at the highest levels of NCAA tennis, Henry brings a unique blend of talent, drive, and international perspective to Gainesville. Henry, welcome to ChompCast.
All right, well, thank you so much, Henry, for being here today. We really appreciate you taking the time to be on the ChompCast podcast. And yeah, so we're just going to take it right back to your childhood. We're going to start from day one. So you're from London, right, across the pond. What was it like growing up near Wimbledon? When did you first pick up your tennis racket?
I started playing when I was 4 years old. And yeah, I mean, as you said, I live like 10, 15 minutes from the court. So I started playing there. Actually, there's a WJTI, which is a kind of the Wimbledon juniors. They go around a lot of the schools in the local area. And that's how actually I got picked up. And they saw, some hand-eye coordination skills. And from there I started playing and last 15 years.
That's awesome.
So everybody's journey is a little bit different. We've talked to Trey Smack, who started actually kicking a football like around 16 or 17, right before he entered, into college. So what made you keep on pursuing tennis? What made you feel like it was the sport that really chose you?
Yeah, I mean, my parents put me in a lot of sports when I was young. I played a lot of up my football, not your football. I'm not going to say soccer for the podcast.
No, we won't make you do that.
Football, cricket, lots of stuff. And then kind of as I got to 11, 12, started playing some international tennis stuff, whereas the other stuff was kind of national. And I started to love tennis a lot more. So I kind of quit the other stuff and I kind of went all in at 12, 13 and yeah.
Wow.
So in tennis, there's a lot of different pathways kind of to accomplish your goals. Some people come to college. Some people continue to just practice and play professional. What led you to pick the college route, and then what led you to UF specifically?
Yeah, I'd say for me, I'm quite tall. I have quite a unique build, and for me, going straight professional at 18, it's extremely difficult. Only a handful of guys do it. I mean, it's less and less the age of guys breaking into 100 now is getting older and older, just because the game's getting more physical. Guys are getting stronger. So in terms of just when's the right time to invest in yourself to go for it? Is it 18 or is it go to college for 4 years, get a degree? It's a good backup plan. And then, 22, you're going to be stronger, better, fitter, whatever, more ready to go on the tour. And then, that's when you put your money in, put your investment in. And obviously, my family and other people backing me. I'd rather do it when I was, 22. That's how I kind of looked at it. And, I mean, every school that I spoke to is I always say it's the same, SEC schools, I visited A&M, Georgia, here, Ole Miss, South Carolina. You can't really go wrong. The facilities, the places is great. It's more about the people and the coaches, obviously. I knew some of the guys on the team from junior tournaments, and I knew the coaches were good from other recommendations, and the program was just coming off a national championship in 21. So, yeah, I mean, I was extremely excited to come here, and it's been unbelievable.
Yeah, and I definitely want to go into a little bit more of your experience here at UF. So you're now a Gator. What's your major? What does it look like every day? What does a day on campus for you look like?
Yeah, I'm a sports management major. I've always been quite interested in that. My dad actually works for IMG, which is quite a big agency company. Yeah, so yeah, shout out IMG. They're quite big in tennis as well. So I've kind of always had that around me. And if tennis doesn't work out, it's definitely something I'd be interested in. That kind of line of work, sports agency, sports marketing, something like that.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, I mean, it's half of my days. I have class in the morning. If I don't, I'll have practice in the morning. Most days we'll start with a lift as well in the gym, 4 days a week. And then we have 2 to 3 hours team practice in the afternoon, kind of 2 till 5. And then potentially conditioning after on some days. It can get quite full on. You're either lifting in the gym or conditioning on a day. So it mixes around. But yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you tell me a little bit about what that workout routine looks like? Because some people, love to hit the weights, but as an athlete, that is pretty, dynamic, moving around the court, especially you being 6'6".
Yeah.
What workouts really, help you with your game?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's not actually all about who can lift the heaviest weights. It's a big thing. I mean, if you go to one of the Grand Slams, you watch the guys lifting before the tournament, they won't be picking up more than like 100 pounds because it's just, there's lots of things that go into it, but being explosive, dynamic is much more important. You have to obviously have like that base strength. Like when you're young, you do need to lift those weights. Everyone does, but especially when you get around like high intensity practice or a tournament, it's all about kind of what's the word? Kind of like just strengthening but protecting by doing. If you're lifting heavy weights, it can hurt your body sometimes. So especially in like important times, like bulletproofing your body, they say is low weights, like maybe high reps, or just there's a lot of like explosive where you get a med ball, a lot of throwing, and like a lot of core stability. That's quite important in tennis. But yeah, I mean, this goes hand in hand, heavy weights and stuff. You can't always just nail out like always gym, but yeah.
My own curiosity, because I see a lot of athletes, you said explosiveness, they use like cables and stuff, like it's like resistance.
Yeah, lots of bands. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, resistant bands are a great way to do it. I don't know if you know what BFR is.
I haven't heard.
It's so blood flow restriction training. So you get some sort of thing you can attach to your your arm, your leg, or whatever. It basically cuts the blood flow off.
Wow.
And then it basically, let's say I wanted to squat and I wanted to get the strength of squatting 250 pounds. You put the BFR on, and then you put a bar of 40 pounds on, and you do your squats, and it feels it's just as hard as doing 250, but you have zero impact on your joints, but you get the strength of doing it. Now the caveat to that is, when I started doing, I asked the guy, like, why doesn't everyone just do this? It doesn't actually build muscle. It just like maintains muscle and strengthens it. Like if you wanted to, get really much bigger, the weight is how you do it. But especially around tournaments and stuff like that, where you don't want anything on your joints, BFR is a great way. We do a lot of that in the gym, like actually in the training room with our trainers. Kind of like if you have like a sore shoulder, it's not actually about, you don't want to go and do a bunch of shoulder press. You get the BFR on and get like a 2-pound dumbbell and lift that, and then it's honestly just as hard. It's honestly, BFR is harder than lifting real weights.
No way.
Yeah,
gotta try it.
I never knew
you
about
should try
that.
it. Honestly, it'll make you cry.
I feel like already lifting like 10 pounds makes you cry, so I can even imagine what that's like.
Someone clip that.
Someone clip that. Don't. Okay. So I did have a question on, I know you were talking about how you kind of have like that backup plan, why you chose the college route. But I feel like since you've been playing, I think you said since like 11 or 12, when was your real moment where you were like, okay, this is not just something that I love. It's not just something that I'm good at. This is actually something that I want to do. Like, do you have a standout memory, standout moment that you were like, okay, I'm going to pursue this and I'm going to take it like actually very seriously beyond, because that's what I see for my future.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple easy answers to that, like, representing your country and like playing for Great Britain, or when I played at Wimbledon, where you're like, wow, this is real. But I don't think it was that. I think I already knew at that point, and that was at like 16, and then even at like 13, you're not really like good or special. I mean, I was a decent under 14 junior or whatever, but just I think the feeling for me is like I could go to a big tournament, I'd see all these guys from across the world, and we'd all be there like competing. It didn't matter if you were winning or losing, just being there. It was like, oh wow, like you're one of the best in the world. You're at the top of the game. Like, let's see how it goes in a couple of years, and then you keep progressing, and then obviously when you hit milestones like playing at junior Wimbledon and stuff like that, like that was ridiculous. Like, but in the moment I wasn't really like shocked or anything, because it kind of felt like that was the path. That was, it wasn't actually a shock. It wasn't like, oh my god, I've made it here. It was like, well, no, that was kind of the next step, which is, some people kind of think, oh, that's a bit, kind of sounds a bit weird, but it wasn't. Obviously I was nervous and it was everything, but it wasn't like, oh my god, I can't believe I was here. Like, you worked hard, that was the next step, and now the next step is college, getting to top of college, going on the pro tour. And I still even think then, when I hopefully start going on the pros and doing well, I'm not going to be super shocked. Okay, that was the next step.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good way of looking at it too, because I think a lot of people will train for like that one moment, that one like, oh, I made it moment, and then it's like, okay, I achieved that. And even if they're not meaning to, sometimes people are, okay, I did that. That was over. That was something that was really cool. And then they kind of don't put as much pressure to themselves because they've already achieved that goal. So I think that's a good way of looking at it.
I wonder if there will be a moment for me where if I do something, I'm like, oh wow, like that is, I did not even, I'm sure there will be. If I actually do something massive in the sport, then like, thank you. I'm interested to see if that will happen. Like, it'll be like, oh my God moment. But yeah.
I would love to dive into that mindset a little bit more though, because you touched on it a little bit, that you do kind of build a community within tennis. You see all these guys at the tournament, and just being there is a special thing. But also it's a very individual sport, or doubles. It's just you and your teammate on the court. What's your mindset going into matches? And even though you might know the guys across from you, you really have to lock in to that match and perform your best. What's your mindset going into matches?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I'm not sure 100% what people think about tennis or stuff. But I mean, in my opinion, a bit biased, it is the hardest sport of all sports. And especially when you get to kind of the higher levels, when you're playing against people just as good as you, better than you, very high level players, I think on the day anything can happen, but I kind of like I think it's really like, it's like the gladiators were back in the day, like, I'm on this side, there's a net here, he's on that side, and you got to beat the guy, whatever you need to do. 100%. I mean, I kind of also like say it's like boxing, like, well, we can't hit each other, but I can do stuff to hit him in the match, and like kind of going back and forth, like, okay, he's figured that out, he's punched me in the stomach there, then now I need to change my plan. And it's literally, and I also, it's just you out there. There is some, like, you can have a coach now in college, or sometimes now in the pros, the rules are a bit looser, you can talk to your coach, but it's still you out there with the racket, and nothing else can change that. So you need to be the one to figure it out. And I think it's like the most problem-solving sport out there. You can change what you're doing in an instant, and then you have to react to that. They have to react to that. You have to react to what they do. It's a real like gladiator feel for me, especially when you're playing like a big tournament at a low level. It's not like that. But.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine. I feel like every match that I see with tennis, like, it gets so intense, not only physically but emotionally for the people. I think because, like you said, it's really just you out there. Like, you don't really have that team to rely on. Like, maybe if you're, in this big group and you make a mistake, okay, well, there could have been other factors. This is very like, hey, I'm either doing it and success is all mine, or I'm doing this and like, it's not my day.
It's all on you.
Yeah.
If you mess up, if you aren't playing good, or you're going to be losing, it's on you. It can be quite lonely at times. There's been like really tough periods for every player. I mean, I've had bad ones, bad times, but
it makes the better ones.
Of course, but then, I mean, you can really take yourself out of that as well. At the same time, you put yourself in it, but you can only get yourself out of it. So, which I also kind of like. I don't rely on anyone. I played a lot of team sports, played a lot of football, a lot of cricket, and I love that. But I always say I'm so thankful. I'm not thankful. I know I would not have done it. I had to have chosen an individual sport for me. I would not have wanted to rely on other people, especially at a high level. I kind of like that it's on my shoulders. That it's all on me. If I win, that's on me. If I lose, it's on me.
Yeah, I get that. I understand that for sure. I rode horses growing up, and that's like very similar, like doing equestrian and all of that. Sorry, just trying to make conversation. I don't know. Lord have mercy. No, but I do understand that. Do you think that's why a lot of tennis players will like smash their rackets? I needed to ask your opinion on this because I feel like.
Well, great question.
Is this controversial?
I mean, I don't think it's that controversial. I'll be honest. When I was a kid, I smashed a few. Everyone does, but to be honest, I haven't smashed one in a while, and I don't think I will be anytime soon. I've kind of changed my mindset a bit on it. Like, you can be angry at yourself, but you shouldn't. Obviously, that's like a lot of people say, like, the racket is your weapon. Why would you break your weapon? That's your piece of equipment. I mean, a lot of pros they like to think, break your racket, get annoyed for 10 seconds, and then like next point back. It's better to do that than to moan for the next 20 minutes and lose 4 games. You might as well break the racket, move on.
That's true.
Now, I don't want to break my racket, so I need to figure out different ways to do it. You go in your towel, scream in your towel, whatever you need to do, or whatever. But that's the key. You can't let one point affect the other, because that's the thing about tennis. It's one point, like it doesn't matter what you do. It could be 100 shots and you win the rally, or you could hit a double fault. It all counts for one.
Right.
So you gotta just snap out of it as quick as possible. I mean, it's not easy sometimes, but
so instantaneous.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of big moments in tennis matches. You specifically got to represent your country, which is a great honor in Wimbledon. And what was that like, that experience playing on such a big stage, being able to represent your country, so many people looking at what you're accomplishing on the court?
Yeah, it was amazing. Definitely something I dreamt of. It was pretty cool. I had my whole family there, friends there, everyone came to support. And it was kind of just like, everyone was there for me. It kind of sounds a bit weird, but like I was very like, wow, like all these people were here together for me. It was actually amazing. I remember the first time I played there, I won my first round against a guy like top 50 in the world, and my next round was against number 3 in the world, and I lost by like 2 points. It was unbelievable. Wow. And then kind of at the end of the day, I was gutted. I was back to the locker room, like, God, like why did I lose that? And then an hour later, I came outside to the grounds where all the people that were watching me were, and I was like, oh my God, like all these people were here together for me. It was like some people I hadn't seen in a while, like family, everyone together. Everyone was just so happy. I was like, wow, it's kind of bigger than just the match. And actually that snapped me out that I lost pretty quickly, but I mean, I still think about it a lot, but that was a really cool moment to kind of be like, well, everyone's here, you know, it's bigger than just the tennis, but they're here for me, and it was really lovely.
And performing so well on such a big stage, did that also kind of give you a realization that like you belong in that moment and you can compete with some of these top guys and are going to continue pursuing that?
I remember actually before, I mean, I heard all these stories of like guys like throwing up before the matches. I mean, I've had some nerves before matches. I was a little bit nervous before, but to be honest, when I got on court, I was so happy with how didn't really feel that nervous. I played great. I swung completely free. I played really good, literally to the end. There was never like I was too scared to play, which I was kind of hoping that wasn't going to happen. Sometimes you don't really know until you're out there, but like I know some of my friends struggle with it, and I was like, that sucks. Like, obviously you want to play your best, and I managed to do that, and I was super glad that I was managed to like, you know, get my best foot out there when, you know, it's easy maybe not to in that situation, but I was really happy with how I responded to that, and that gives me confidence in other situations where, okay, I'm feeling a bit nervous right now, but remember that moment, that was pretty big, and you did it, so yeah, that's for sure helped me.
For sure. Transitioning from junior tennis to college tennis, that's a big step. It's very different. How did you prepare for that, and then what's been your biggest adjustment since being here at UF and playing for the Gators?
Yeah, I think the level in college is extremely high, and you don't know that until you get here, even if you get told it. And I was told, I was like, I can't be that tough. It's just college. It is legit. Like, the guys here are legit. The top guys are all going pro. They're all making it. Like, if you're top of college, you're top 300 in the world level, probably, roughly, something around that. There's a ton of guys in the top 100 right now that went through college. It's seriously strong. So, you know, it's tough to adjust. And actually, I came in January straight into the season. I came 6 months early for a few different reasons, but it was thrown right in the deep end, and it was really tough at the start. And I was so lucky I had some good people around me to support me, good coaches and teammates. But no, if you don't come ready to play high level tennis, you're gonna find out quickly in college. And I mean, they won't give you a thing here. And it's a massive thing that's different between especially the junior tennis and even professional tennis. You'll find in professional tournaments, especially at the start of them, guys are feeling a little bit of an injury. They're not, you know, they won't give their absolute 100%. You won't catch a guy giving less than 1% in college because they're playing for their school, their teammates. You don't do that on the pro tour. You know, you play 10 weeks in a row on the pro tour. By week 7, you're done. I want to go home. You may catch a guy completely tanking, whereas here you're never going to catch that. Everyone is completely on every point. That's the hardest thing I think about college tennis is no one's going to give you anything because it's not, you're not just playing for yourself anymore, which is one thing as well that I've completely learned is like you're playing for your school, your teammates, your coaches. Like, even if you want to take it that far, I'm playing for you guys when I play. You guys are all Gators as well. That's like our coach wants to put that kind of philosophy into us. Like, it's a lot bigger than ourselves. And that's one thing that, like, when I go to practice every day, it's like, you know, you got to be ready to play.
Yeah, I mean, personally, that's one of the things I love about college athletics is you really see it, that these guys are still working towards something. It's not like they're in the NFL or they're in professional tennis and they can just, oh, I've made it. All of these guys still have a goal to accomplish, and there's such a competitive nature within that, and every week matters. You can't just go home one week.
Yeah, no, 100%.
We've definitely talked a little bit about mindset, and you discussed being a gladiator on the court. I want to dig a little bit deeper into your personal philosophy and ideology. I'm sure people have called you crazy. You have to be some sort of addicted to the grind to keep on going back to practice every single day. So what has that experience looked like? Have people called you crazy? Have people, close friends maybe called you crazy? Grounded you?
I mean, I don't think I've been called crazy before, thank God. But no, you definitely do get a second look sometimes. You know, someone says, let's go out tonight, or we're going to do this or this. I'm like, nah, I can't do it. And to be honest, there's always a time on the court, work hard. There's also time to play hard. You need to have a good balance. But I think maybe it's just something that's a little bit ingrained in me. Maybe it's my mentality or just wanting to be great is like a lot of the times I actually don't find it that hard to say no to that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like if I do it on my own terms, it's fine. Like, I go out and have my fun, but like, I'm not much of a sheep. I don't want to listen to someone if they just say, let's go out. Like, I got practice in the morning or whatever. It's not really like, I'm not really going to think twice about it. I'd prefer to just stay in bed.
Yeah, it's discipline too, for sure.
Of course,
that's one of the. That's what they always say. It's like we love quotes on this podcast, but I feel like motivation's one thing, but discipline's everything. And
100%.
I feel like you can always have these goals, but if you aren't able to kind of be like, okay, I'm laser focused, what am I going to do? Say no to some things, say yes to the right things, then you're not really going to get to where you need to be.
100%.
So you're ranked number 11 in doubles with Tanapat and Nurendoran. What is the key to your chemistry, and how do you guys complement each other on the court?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen him play. You probably haven't, but he is extremely unique. So he's 5'8", very small guy, and he can't hit the forehand.
Really?
Wow.
That's a bit weird, right?
So
That's the most normal shot.
Yeah.
There we go. He can't do it. I don't know what it is.
Everything's a backhand?
Yeah, well, so he slices every forehand, which
Okay.
is, that's normally most people's weapon. He has a great backhand,
Okay,
good
awesome.
good serve,
Right.
but he's the best volleyer in college by far.
Wow.
Like the best. Like, it's not even close. His volleys are top 100 in the world, not even close. Like, he's unbelievable. So when we play doubles, we have an extremely unique game style. So I'm just at the back. I hit a big serve, and he is all over the net, and he puts everything away. And obviously, he has to. I serve one game, he has to serve the next game. He has a great serve as well, and I'm pretty good at the net. I've worked on my volleys, so he serves, and he's on his half. I'm covering my half. If the ball comes to me, I'm putting it away. If he gets the ball, one of the best volleys in the world.
Right.
He's hitting a good volley, and we play the point, and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, my returns, I'd say, are probably one of my weakest part of my game, and that's one of the things I'm working on the most. Actually, I've started to see really big improvement. I think that's going to be quite big for me in the next year.
Awesome.
And his return, especially the forehand, is a bit of a hole because he doesn't have it. So he needs to put a lob up or chip it. And I mean, it's not a mean thing to say he doesn't have it. It's just he needs to find other ways to use it.
Yeah.
So we have quite a unique thing. We're trying to keep the point short. We're never hitting the same shot twice. I'll hit a big one and he'll hit a little finesse one, and then he's hitting a lob, and then we're coming to the net.
Right.
I think that kind of game style unsettles a lot of people, and especially when we play these dual matches, university against university, it's just one set of doubles. It's first to six. It's over in 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So when we come out and we're serving really big, giving no rhythm, playing our kind of game, it's nothing that they've seen before. And then we're not all about when we don't win the 6-love. It's not going to happen. We know that because we're not perfect. But our whole point is we play with high energy. We get to 4-all, 5-4, 6-5, 5-all. Then we're going to make a really crummy shot. What are you going to do about it? You're probably going to miss.
Right.
Something you haven't seen before. He's going to make an unbelievable volley when they think the point's done. They've got to play one more ball. And then their arm is like this at 5-all, 30-all in front of their whole crowd. And that's kind of, pressure adds up. And it's not just about forehands and backhands. A lot of the guys will go on court they'll look 10 times better than me in Tanapat, but put us in at 5-all, 30-all, I back us all day to make the shot.
Sure.
So that's quite an interesting thing that we talk about a lot. And I mean, I think one thing that makes us better than other people is we're massive students of the game here. A lot of the guys on the team, we're constantly talking tennis. Like, we'll be sitting at lunch, no one's speaking. I'll be like, oh my God, you know what, T? When we serve here, we should do this. And it's all day. We don't stop. It's 8 p.m. We're sitting on the sofa watching TV. You know what, in practice day, that shot you hit, we need to do that more. Like, let's go for this. And it's constantly like that. I think that's a huge advantage for us.
Awesome.
How long did it take you guys to build this chemistry, and especially with a new, unique play style like that? How do you kind of get used to playing this style of tennis?
Yeah, I knew him a little bit from juniors before, so I knew him a few years from coming in. And then actually, my whole freshman year, I didn't play with him. He played with, a different guy at number 2. I played with another guy, Jeremy Jin, at number 3. And then, it kind of worked. It was okay. We were all quite new. And then into our second year, we started playing in the fall, and me and T played a few practice sets together. The coaches were muddling a few things around, and we were like, okay, hold on, we have a little bit of something here. This is, the serving is really good. We just need to figure out a little bit on the returns. And then I remember we played one college event in Baylor, and we beat the number 7 in the country. And then we were like, okay, hold on, this is pretty good. We got in the rankings, whatever, it was low rankings. And then we went to the regional in Georgia. And the Southeast region tournament is pretty strong. It's Florida State, UCF, Miami, us, Georgia
Right.
Tech, pretty strong region. And we won it. So we were like, okay, this is pretty good. So that qualified us for NCAAs, and
Awesome.
we had a really good run in the fall. And then, okay, we're going to play one for the Florida Gators now. And we were like, let's step up and do it, because that's a big thing.
True.
So yeah, we played one pretty much all last season, and we did a decent job. So yeah, now this season we can do even more. We'll probably be playing one again. So
Definitely.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they've heard it here first. Henry and T are the best dynamic duo tennis players in
There
the
we
world
go.
right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see how high we get this year.
So we've also seen that you were featured in a commercial as a tennis body double with Daniil Medvedev.
Yeah.
Medvedev. How did that come about, and what was it like stepping into that role?
Honestly, super like random. I don't know how you guys know that. That's
No,
crazy.
we did our research.
That is a deep
We did our
dive.
research here on the ChompCast podcast.
Due diligence.
That's crazy. Yeah, that was completely random. Like my mum's friend's daughter is an actor,
Okay.
and she, I mean, clearly these, long dog walkers, something.
Yeah.
Clearly they get like emails about potential opportunities for people, and there was one like advert that came across. It was tennis skills required and body like one of the players who was doing it, and I was like, well, I've got tennis skills. Well, she sent it to my mum. Like, your son's a tennis player.
Yeah.
Like, what about this? And I actually obviously have a quite unique. Some of these tennis players are really tall. Like Medvedev, 6'6", kind of lean, same like me, exactly the same. I was like, hold on a second, this sounds pretty good. Like, it's all right. I was like, it's gonna take, and it was 2 days of work. But I'm not gonna say how much it was, but it was a decent money.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna pay for a few.
You're going Hollywood now.
Yeah. So yeah, I rock up in like the middle of London, got a taxi there, and it was like this massive like just warehouse, and it was massive film productions, 20 TV screens, like moving cameras, and it was crazy. And he was there one of the days, so I met him, spoke to him, and it was actually hilarious because I did this probably 3 weeks before Junior Wimbledon. So just before my preparation started for that. So I just did it. I was at home and I saw him there, and how nice to meet you. I'm your body double. Let's do this, whatever, sign it away. And then 3 weeks later, I was in the locker room and I walked past him because he's playing in the tournament and I'm playing in the tournament. He doesn't know that. I didn't tell him. And he looked at me, he's like, what are you doing here? You're the body double. Yeah. I was like, yeah, hey twin. I was like, I'm playing. He was like, I'm actually playing you now. But no, I was in the juniors. But that was a really weird moment. But yeah, no, that was really cool.
It's incredible.
Wow. So, I mean, you're from London. I kind of want to touch on that international experience as well, because I feel like you're far from home right now, but obviously you've built a great community here. How often do you get to go back, and do you have plans for like staying here in America after college? Like, what does that kind of look like?
Yeah, I go back twice a year, kind of like and when we finish in May, I'll maybe hang around for a little bit, see if there's any like professional tournaments in America to play. If not, I'll go home, and I'll go home for 2-3 months. And then back in December, I'll go home for a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of plan, probably, most likely I want to go back after I'm done to London, just because I think that's probably the best place to base myself out of to be a tennis player. That we have the National Tennis Centre there. It's 30 minutes from my house. All the professionals practicing there, and there's good coaches. So hopefully, if I'm in a good position when I'm done with college, I'll be able to use that as my training base and get a coach there, and live in London, and I'll obviously come back to Gainesville and maybe a little training block here and there. Like we have old players doing that as well for like a week or two if they're about to go and do some tournaments in America. But yeah, I'll probably plan to go back.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how like you can go all around, like all across the map, really, and kind of have that. And are you, like, for your teammates, do you see that a lot too, where everyone kind of like is going to be dispersing everywhere? Like, I feel like, I don't know if I'm maybe just not completely educated, but I feel like that doesn't happen that often. Like, yes, there's people that will go to like different NFL teams or people, but I feel like really tennis, you're kind of getting to cover like the world.
Yeah, tennis is one of the most international sports.
That's what I'm about to say.
100%. It is the most international sport. We have 9 guys on the team, and we have only 1 true American.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's only 9 people on the UF tennis team.
Yeah.
Not big squads.
No. And last year, the roster, there's been some roster cuts recently with some sports. A lot of sports had to cut down. There's a few things that was going on with NCAA, so even less. So now 9 is the max.
Wow.
For any school.
In
4 years' time. So basically, there's like a grandfathering system. It's a big thing. I went through the courts, but technically, we can keep on the guys who we have. But then when it hits the 4 years, when they're graduated, then it's 9. So like coaches are now, they're not putting players on if they know they're going to be over that limit. You've got to be smart with it.
Wow.
So we actually had to cut a few guys last year just because we didn't have the scholarship to keep them.
Like NIL and revenue
huge.
sharing.
Yeah. Like swimming got a massive cut, track and field got a big cut, a lot of those things. But outside the international thing, like a baseball team. I don't think they have one international in their baseball team. Right. So they're all going to be either playing MLB in America, playing whatever league, or just going to work, and they'll all be fairly close. Whereas all of us, we're all training at different places. I mean, probably not going to see each other that much, which is obviously the tough part of it. But I mean,
But then you'll be walking by in like a locker room. You're like, hey.
Exactly. Well, hopefully we will make it. And
exactly.
We'll be very close.
There you go.
Exactly.
Double take.
Perfect. Yeah.
For maybe high school students that are watching, or even UF students that really want to kind of pursue a sport, what advice do you have to offer to them?
I'd say one of the biggest things is patience. You've got to be patient. It's not going to come in one day. Rome wasn't built in a day, they say, which I like. One thing that I can't remember who told me, but it started with me, it was a while ago. It was probably when I was like 15 or 16. They said, the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. And I love that. I think about that a lot. And it's like every day I go out to practice, I'm searching for, perfection, perfect shot. I want to win the next tournament, but, you're not putting the stuff in to get it the next day. It's for 6 years' time, every session, every day. You can't expect it all to come right now. And that's actually a really difficult part because everyone's working their hardest. You're working your hardest. You want to get, you want your success to come quickly, but I mean, that's a slippery slope. So you've got to be patient. And that's one thing for me that that's why I kind of have good belief that I think, you can make it because, you've got to keep being patient, wait for your moment. There's no point panicking because you don't have it right now. There's guys my age who are top 100 in the world, but be patient. You'll be there. You'll get there one day. So I'll eat the fruit at some point, I hope.
Oh, for sure.
That's
down the line.
Yeah. That's quite literally one of my favorite sayings. Plant the seed, build a garden. Because I mean, at the end of the day, no matter how much you grind today, tomorrow, you're not going to see it until 2 or 3, if not years.
No, you don't. Yeah, you don't want to just think it's going to come for free. I also like someone said, if I was going to cut down a tree, I'd spend 8 hours sharpening my axe and 2 hours cutting. I really like that because you got to invest in yourself. Put that time in.
Some quotes.
I've got a good quote. I've got some inspiration.
Dropping knowledge.
There's another way to say that. It was okay. There were 2 lumberjacks, and they worked a full day, 9 to 5. And one lumberjack was chopping the whole day straight through. Okay.
Right.
And one lumberjack was chopping 9 till 12.
Yeah.
Took 2 hours off, and then worked 2 till 5. And he chopped 6 more trees than the other guy.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, the guy says, "I was chopping all day. You took a break. How are you doing that?" Like, yeah, in my 2 hours off, I was sharpening my axe. And it's just like, I love that. Like, you've got to take time to invest in yourself. And it's not like, I've gone out there for an hour, I feel really good right now. Let's go play this tournament. No, like, invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Go build muscle, gym, fitness, mental, invest. And then you won't get it. And then you do a bit more and then you won't get it. Oh, and then maybe you'll get it in the end. But that's the thing with sport. And I mean, I guess it's for people, if they want to get into sport and it ties into the patience, nothing is given. You don't deserve anything. That's one thing with me. I was such a little brat when I was younger. Sometimes I was like, why am I not getting it? This guy's getting it. I'm doing the same stuff, but you're not given anything. You don't deserve anything. The sport doesn't owe you anything. That is like, at the end of the day, you got to go and get it yourself. Like, nothing is given to you.
And on those lines, this season you're coming back from a minor injury as well. And what was your mindset, and how do you keep sharpening your blade when you might not be at 100%, but you still got to give it your all and get back to where you were before?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going through different things. I mean, the last 2 weeks, I've had a shoulder thing. I've got a tournament next week. Just started serving yesterday, and I'm playing in 4 or 5 days. So you're always managing something. And when I get into the tournament, I'm sure something will come up. That's just sport. I mean, when you're moving at that pace and putting that energy in, we're hitting the ball so hard, your body's going to obviously have niggles here and there. So obviously, when you have something a little bit more serious, I was out for just 2 months. But in that time, I was doing what I could, your upper body stuff, your mental work, and just staying positive. You don't want to get your head down in those moments because technically you haven't done anything wrong. Your body's just, something's happened. I mean, nothing you can do sometimes. So don't get too down in an injury and then, minor setback for a major comeback. Yeah,
exactly. Oh my gosh, you quote after quote.
I've got to ask before we end, for anybody who doesn't know, we're filming this right around US Open time.
Yeah.
We've got the semis this weekend. Who do you have this week?
I mean, it's annoying because it's so boring. Sinner and Alcaraz is just better. I like them both. Both. Felix is doing unbelievable though. I love his game. He's actually, from what I've heard, when he was, 14, he's the greatest junior player to ever play.
Wow.
Like his level at that age.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember hearing Tony Nadal, Rafa's uncle, his coach,
Yeah.
when he saw him play, he was like, this is the greatest player I've ever seen at that age. And I love how he plays. He's so aggressive, hits the ball so big. He's obviously struggled a little bit in the last couple of years. But the fact that now he's in the semis is incredible. So, I mean, maybe he's back. I mean, maybe he can take down, I think he's Sinner, and then Djokovic. Don't even get me started. I love Djokovic, but he just needs to stop. Like, how is he still beating everyone? It makes no sense.
He's this old and still in the semis. It's incredible.
Unbelievable. I mean, why should he stop if he's in the semis? But, I mean, I think Alcaraz will beat him, but I hope he does. But, I mean, he is incredible. How he's doing that at that age. I mean, he takes care of his body ridiculous. I mean, I think I put time into my body. Nothing like him.
He's a veteran of the game. I remember, like, growing up, I never watched, like, my dad didn't watch basketball, football. Like, he'd watch cricket a little bit. But tennis was the number one thing. We'd always have Rafael Nadal, Murray, Federer, you name it. Like,
Murray's my biggest inspiration.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? Such a fast
Serve.
Yes.
Yeah, good serve. I just love. I mean, he's British.
Yeah.
He's our guy. I'm very patriotic with that. But I mean, he's come through injuries. He's overcome so much. I don't play like him. I'm quite aggressive. He's a bit more counter-punching defending, but I just love the way that he fights. I mean, I think his passion for the game is just ridiculous. I mean, he is unbelievable. So he's a big inspiration.
Wow. I actually had one other question because you've mentioned mental like twice, and what is your like personal routine to keeping yourself, focused and keeping yourself mentally good, even when there's, the hills and valleys of the sport? And
yeah, I've done some work before with like psychologists and stuff, and that is great. It's also quite expensive, but I'm not doing anything right now with that. But if you do a couple of those, you'll get some techniques from that, and then so you don't need to keep meeting them. You can do it yourself, but a lot of breathing work, a lot of visualization, just, you can close your eyes and just picture yourself in a situation in a certain court. I did it a lot before Wimbledon. I was like, okay, picture yourself on the court. What are you going to do? What are the stuff around you? That's kind of pre-match kind of stuff. And then breathing work, a lot of stuff like that. That can kind of settle your mind if you're having problems. And I mean, it's just as much as a mental game as physical. If you're losing your mind out there, or if you're very anxious before, you're going down, you're starting, with a disadvantage. So you got to make sure you're good in that aspect. As long as your mind is ready to go, then you can, play to your best ability. You don't want to be going in, worried or getting frustrated too easily. That's what I'm saying, like giving your opponent stuff. If you're, complaining after every shot, which I mean sometimes you do, it just depends. But you're just giving free information away that you're panicked, you're worried, and so if you can do a little bit of work beforehand, before you get on court, not when you're on court, because then, you've already lost at that point. So just preparation is the biggest thing.
Do you have any pre-match superstitions?
I try not to be, because I hate that stuff, because if you get too much into it, you can't stop it. And
True.
I'm a little bit I kind of want to eat the similar stuff the night before. I'm a little bit I wouldn't say it's superstitious, but I'm just a little bit okay, I've got to have this, I've got to have two of these drinks, okay. I've got to have my wristband, everything. As long as I'm feeling the same, I don't need to kiss a ring or something before, something like that. I try and stay away from that, because once you lose it, then you're messed.
Then you're a mess. Because I feel like if we've talked to some people, it's ritualistic.
Some people are crazy.
Yeah, but you're putting your superstitions in your own self, which is what it should be. Mm-hmm. So I think that should be a wrap today on today's episode. Huge thank you to you, Henry.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
For every one of our listeners, I feel like we've gotten a nice little glimpse at talking to you. I feel like we couldn't find that many interviews in this type of style, so we're thankful you came on to be on the podcast. And I feel like our listeners get to follow along on your journey. So guys, keep supporting him, keep following along, keep cheering him on.
Follow the Instagram.
Yeah, follow his Instagram. It'll be linked and tagged. But yeah, we encourage you to support his journey, and we're all cheering you on from
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Of course. Well, thank you so much.
Go Gators.